everyone, I'm Amber.
And I'm Natalie.
And welcome to the first episode of So Healthy. If you're a maker of things, be it crocheting, knitting, sewing,
Bedazzling,
scrapbooking, all sorts of things, you might have noticed that as you're doing those activities that you develop aches and pains.
And those aches and pains can last for a long time after you're done with your task, which can interfere with other activities of your daily life.
As a seamstress and someone who does many sewing marathon sessions, I get questions from makers all the time on how to maintain such a regimen, how to keep myself from getting hurt. I can't explain things very well, but my friend Natalie can. I'm so glad that she's agreed to help and participate with these videos.
I am a physical therapist. I've been a physical therapist for about 7 years now, and I feel very strongly that everything in the body is connected. So if you treat your back and shoulders and neck well, you are in turn treating your arms well. However, it goes the other way also, where if you have very, very poor posture and your neck is in a bad position or your shoulders and your upper back are in a bad position, then that's not doing any favors to your shoulders, elbows, wrists, and hands. So everything is connected, and being aware of these things can help you treat your body better, but also do better quality of work.
And in this video, we're going to tackle 5 easy ways to help prevent injury while you're doing your hobby.
It's very easy to get engrossed in our task and keep powering through despite what you are feeling, especially if you have a deadline or anything that really needs to get done very quickly. But this can lead to further problems. These videos are not medical advice. They are suggestions, but also helps you to kind of see, is there something that you need to refer to a doctor about to make sure that it doesn't become a problem? So if you're experiencing numbness, tingling, progressive weakness, pain that's interfering with daily activities like dressing, bathing, things like that, that's really just getting worse and worse, please schedule a visit with your doctor, either in person or telehealth, for an assessment of what needs to be looked at. The content provided in this video is for informational purposes only. No material in this video is intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or treatment, and never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have seen in this video. There is no substitute for an in-person assessment of your specific musculoskeletal needs. In this episode, we're working on posture while sitting at a table. Stay tuned for future episodes when we'll discuss machine sewing or stitching on the couch, other positions, and how that will affect your body. A warm-up is an important and easy way to ready your muscles for repetitive work. Working your body without warming up can sometimes result in unnecessary strain and tension, especially if you are starting off with a preformed habit. This warm-up can help to cue your muscles and your mind to remind you to work with good mechanics and posture. Here's a warm-up sequence that might be helpful to anyone sitting at a table or working over a sewing machine. Here is Amber getting ready to warm up the muscles of the chest and the neck. Shake it out first. What Amber's going to do now should look very silly. She is doing this exactly right, believe it or not. So we oftentimes have our head coming forward. So Amber is doing some cervical retraction where she's giving herself a double chin and then looking up towards the ceiling with that extension. Just to get that neck moving and out of that forward position. Go gentle and go through the motion that feels good for you. Now we're going to do some neck circles. These are some of my favorites, just going nice and slow, like a clock. All directions of the neck. The great thing about these exercises, you do what you can. So if you can't go through that full motion and you want to do smaller circles, that is okay. Just going slow and careful. And now we have to go the other way. We want balance and we want to go one direction and then the other. Can't have everything going in the same direction. So Amber's going through the other direction. Feeling a stretch through all of the muscles, especially in the back and the side of the neck, which is where her muscles have been working while she's making things. Happy neck. Here we're going to do some movements of the hand. Thumb circles. Take your thumb and go ahead through full motion in all directions. If you have less motion and you're doing smaller circles, that is okay. You don't want to go through a painful motion, and you want to go one direction and then the other, just like those neck circles that we did. If you're having pain, clicking, go through a smaller motion, see if that's helpful for you. Now we're going to do some stretching through the hand. So what Amber is going to do is she's going to take her thumb and touch it to different parts of her fingers, just to get that little bit of a stretch. The pad of the hand feels a really big something something when you are working, and so she is touching to different joints of the hand, going through and just feeling that good stretch to the hand. This just helps to limber up the fingers because you're going to be using them a lot for what you're doing. A happy hand. Your spine is the part of the body that everything else is connected to. And so if you don't have a good foundation at your trunk and your shoulders, you can't use your hands for repetitive motions like sewing. Remember that posture is a habit, and habits can and should be practiced every day to develop muscle memory. Try to have your feet flat on the floor. For some of us who are shorter, it can be really hard because if you sit back in the chair, your feet aren't touching. So you want to come forward on your seat to have your feet nice and planted. This will help maintain a good back position. You can also put something underneath your feet so that they're raised up, and you can sit back a little bit further if that's more comfortable for you. There are also things called lumbar rolls. So Amber made one out of a towel, and she's putting it at her low back. This allows a little bit of a curvature to the back so she can sit back comfortably against her chair, keeping a good position at the back. And you can see her neck was in a really good position also because they're both so connected. You can also take a small towel roll and wedge it underneath your hips. This can be helpful, especially if you are sitting forward on your seat because of your workspace, or if you're sitting on a stool or a chair that doesn't have good back support for that lumbar roll. And this lets Amber sit nice and tall. You can see from that side view so that she can work on things and not be slumped forward and have her neck and her back in that horrible, horrible arched position. And now she can work in front of her and have that good line from the neck down to the hips. Looking straight ahead, you want to keep your workspace in front of you. Don't work to the side. Sometimes this happens if we have a bad setup and maybe there's clutter underneath our desk and we have to turn our legs to the side, or if we're working next to us, but try to keep everything in front of you and close to the body. If you are getting into that bad position, imagine a string attached to the top of your head and pull it on up towards the ceiling, thinking about lifting through the crown of your head so that you can be up nice and tall. Taking breaks during a making session is extremely important to reset your posture and your muscles. As the amount of time increases, it's easy to revert to old habits that can create or exacerbate injuries. Try to get up, move around, and stretch every 30 minutes to reset your body. Oftentimes as we're working, especially when we're getting more fatigued, we really slump down. And so breaks are not just good mentally, but physically also, so that we can reset, move those legs a little bit, get the arms moving. You can pull the shoulders back. You can move the neck around if you'd like. This just does a quick reset. It doesn't have to be a long break, but even just standing up, moving around a little bit, sitting back down, and making sure that you're in that good position that we talked about earlier. After you're done being creative, you want to thank your body for its hard work. When you are using your muscles, they're in a shortened position, and this can lead to that feeling of tightness or knotted up muscles. By stretching, you're helping to elongate your muscles to add flexibility and reduce pain and tightness. And so this can be really helpful to reset the body. Here's a great stretch regimen that you can use to add flexibility and reduce pain to your muscles. Here we'll do a couple of stretches for the arms and the neck. So Amber's taking her left arm, putting it behind her back. She's then taking her nose and pointing it down towards her right hip. The left hand behind the back helps to keep the shoulder down so that she can feel that good stretch through the left side of her neck. And she's just slowly working that head down through a motion that's comfortable for her and giving her a nice gentle stretch on that left side. We want balance, so we're going to do the other side. Right arm behind the back, taking her head down towards that left shoulder, left hip. Feeling that big stretch on the right side. You do what's comfortable for you, so if you can't go that far at your neck, that's okay. Just go till you're feeling a stretch. You should not feel pain with that. Maybe a big stretch, but no pain. Here we're doing a tricep stretch. So Amber's right arm is behind her back, And she's using her left hand at her right shoulder just to give a little bit of pressure, almost like she's trying to bring her hand down her back further. We'll see that in a different view in a minute. Again, both sides. You don't want to be lopsided and have really stretchy arm or flexible arm on one side and not on the other. So making sure that you're gently giving some pressure through that elbow. Do not crank on your arm, and be careful with that shoulder if you have some pre-existing shoulder issues. So from a different view, hand behind the back, giving that gentle pressure through the elbow and feeling the big stretch all through the arm. You may even feel it down into the armpit, into the side of the chest. Nice gentle stretch. Do what feels comfortable for you. Amber has good flexibility through her joints, so she can really give a lot of pressure there. If you can't do that much, that is okay. It should feel comfortable. It should not hurt. Now coming back around to the front, we're going to stretch the front of the arm. You'll feel this into the bicep muscle, which is in the upper arm, and into the forearm, which is the lower arm. So Amber is holding on to a table and stepping away. So her palm is facing forward, and she's getting that big stretch. Go through what feels comfortable for you. Don't overextend that elbow or that shoulder. Doing the other side, and from a different view we can see this. So Amber stepping forward. She has a lot of movement in that elbow, and that is okay as long as she's feeling that good stretch. If this is bothersome for the elbow, don't go that far forward. You may feel that stretch all the way up into the shoulder, through the elbow, through the forearm. Holding onto that table lets you keep your arm in a good position. Sitting back down, we can do some stretches at the forearm. So here, take your hand, apply some pressure through the fingertips. You are keeping your elbow straight, and you're going to feel that stretch through the forearm. And now we're going the other direction, and here Amber has the force more through the hand rather than the fingers, because if she put it through the fingers, they would just bend. So this is going through the back of the wrist and the front of the wrist. Big stretch in the front of the wrist. So that is stretching the right arm, and you guessed it, now we're going to do the left arm. Pulling through those fingertips, and going through the hand to get that stretch to the back of the wrist and into the forearm, even up into the elbow. You can hold that for a few seconds, and gently work in each direction. Here we're going to do a pec stretch. So Amber is laying down on her back, getting nice and comfortable on the floor, or bed, whatever is easier for you. We're going to take the hands, link them behind the head, and gently let those elbows drop down to the floor. Amber has a lot of flexibility, so you can see in the side view that her arms are really just touching the floor. I know that I have a lot more tightness, so my elbows do not come that close to the floor. And so if they don't, that's okay. But here you can feel a stretch to the front of the chest, into the armpit, into the arms. It should be comfortable for you. But this stretch feels really nice, especially if we've been sitting and working in front of us. Remembering to relax your body is important for everyday life, but especially after you've been using your muscles for something. Sometimes we really need a conscious effort to be able to relax our body because it's not natural for a lot of us. We tend to be in a tight or engaged state just because of life or what we're doing. And so if we're here all of the time, our body doesn't know how to relax because this is normal. So sometimes what we need to do is tighten up a little bit more so your body can feel the muscles and feel that tightness so that we know what to relax and what to drop down. There's a technique called progressive muscle relaxation, which says, sometimes we don't recognize when our muscles are tense, and that's just how our normal status is. So it can be helpful to tense up your muscles even more so that you can actually tell that tension is there and then release them. So Amber is tightening up her forehead, scrunching up her face, tightening it up and then letting it release. Tightening it up and letting it release. The jaw is a big one. I'm a jaw clencher when I'm working. Also during this current pandemic, if we're wearing masks a lot, that can cause tightness in the jaw. I know that I clench when I'm wearing a mask all day, and so really clenching it up and then letting it ease down. The focus for these is not the tightening, but tightening in order to release. At the shoulders, Amber's going to bring them up by her ears and then let them relax. Bringing the shoulders up and letting them ease on down. Bring her shoulders up and easing on down. You can do both shoulders at the same time, or you can do one shoulder at a time. Bringing it towards the ear for the sole purpose of releasing and relaxing. And now the other side. As I've mentioned before, and you've probably picked up on, we want to do both sides. And one side may feel different than the other, and that is okay. Very good. My favorite. We all need a little bit of self-massage. Most of us do not have our own private masseuse, and so we can use a tennis ball or a racquetball to work through our muscles. After you've been sewing or knitting and making things, the last thing you want to do is dig your fingers into your own muscles. So you can take a ball and roll it across your arm. So that way it's a lot easier for your other arm and you can really target those spots that you need to. My favorite is when you work it at the neck and the back. So this is really nice because you control the pressure. So if you give a little bit of body weight into that ball, you can dig into that muscle to a degree that's comfortable for you. Do a little dance, wiggle around, and let that ball ease into those muscles that really need it. And you can see Amber's kind of working around getting those spots. Down a little bit lower, that can get more of the mid-back and shoulder muscles, and that's going to be really good. If you want to stay away from keeping that ball right against the spine, that doesn't feel lovely to have that rubbing against the bones there.
So if you stayed with us this long, thank you so much for watching the video, and we hope that you will stay healthy and sew healthy. See you later.